He never imagined that sharing a bowl of hot stew with a ragged, giant stranger would drag him into a nightmare of blood, betrayal, and a secret that entire nations had killed to protect. And he certainly didn't expect that the next morning, hundreds of silent warriors, faces painted for death, would bow their heads to him as if he were someone sacred. But that's how the story begins. In the dying light of a western evening when the world felt thin enough for fate to slip through like a ghost, Cole Maddox had seen rough days, but the evening he met the giant in the woods was one he'd never forget. He was riding back from a failed prospecting trip, pockets empty, stomach hollow, and his horse limping from a stone bruise. The trees stood tall around him, black silhouettes in the falling sun, and the air smelled like pine smoke mixed with the early bite of winter. Down in a shallow clearing, he found a spot to camp. He built a small fire, warmed his hands, and cooked the only thing he had left, a pot of thick venison stew he'd been saving for days. The broth smelled rich, steam curling upward like the promise of something better. He had barely dipped his spoon in when the woods behind him cracked loudly. He spun, hand on his revolver. At the edge of the clearing stood a giant man, barefoot, filthy, clad in torn buckskin rags, hair tangled to his chest, face hollowed with hunger. He was easily 7 feet tall, shoulders broad as a barn door, and he stared at Cole with exhausted, animal-like eyes. Cole didn't shoot. Something told him not to. Instead, slow as a church prayer, he lifted the pot. "You hungry, friend?" The giant approached cautiously as if expecting a trap. His movements were heavy, painful, and Cole noticed deep cuts on his arms, scars old and new. Bruises around his ribs as though he'd been beaten by a dozen men or worse. Cole handed him the bowl. The giant trembled as he held it like the warmth alone might break him. He ate with a strange gentleness, each bite careful, silent. The firelight flickered across his face, showing not madness, as Cole first feared, but gratitude, and something else. A terrible sadness. Neither spoke for a long while. Then in a deep, gravel-lined whisper, the giant finally said, "You gave food to me. Why?" Cole shrugged. "You look like you needed it more." The giant lifted his eyes. "Most men fear me." Cole chuckled weakly. "I fear everyone till they prove I shouldn't." A single breath of wind drifted through the clearing. The giant leaned closer, lowering his voice to a broken whisper. "They hunt me." "Who?" He didn't answer. He only scanned the woods, every muscle tightening, as if their shadows hid the very demons he spoke of. Cole should have sent him away right then. Should have packed up, mounted his horse, and ridden into the dark with no intention of ever looking back. But something about the man, the bruises, the wounds, the desperate hunger made it impossible. So Cole shared the whole pot, and then the giant did something strange. He took a strip of rawhide from his wrist and placed it in Cole's hand. It was marked with dark ink symbols Cole didn't recognize. "For you," the giant said. "For kindness. I ain't done anything special." "You will." It sent a cold shiver down Cole's spine. Before Cole could ask what that meant, the giant stood, towering like a mountain. He stared into the shadows as if hearing something Cole couldn't. Then he turned, faded into the dark forest, and was gone. Cole barely slept that night. Every time the wind rustled the trees, he thought the giant had returned or that whatever hunted him had come instead. He dreamed of painted warriors with blank eyes, of smoke rising from a valley, of a burning sun bleeding over the mountains. When dawn finally came, he felt as if the night had lasted a year. He packed his things, saddled his horse, and stepped into the crisp morning light. But he didn't get far. A soft whistle sliced through the trees. Cole froze. Shapes moved between the trunks. Dozens of them at first, then scores, then hundreds. Silent as wolves, they emerged into the clearing, forming a wide circle around him. Their faces were painted with black and red stripes, their braids decorated with feathers, claws, and beads. They carried spears, bows, long knives, and they walked with a cold, deadly precision. Cole didn't know whether to reach for his gun or start praying. At their front stepped an older warrior, tall and solemn, with a necklace of carved bones and a cloak of elk hide. His expression held neither anger nor fear, only judgment. "You carry the mark," the elder said quietly. Cole swallowed. "I what mark this? This was given to me yesterday by—" "You shared food with him." Cole nodded slowly. "Was that wrong?" The warriors murmured among themselves, some looking shocked, others reverent. The elder approached, his steps measured, and stopped just inches from Cole. He raised his hands. Then he bowed. Every warrior around him bowed hundreds of them lowering to one knee in absolute silence. Cole staggered back, heart pounding. What the hell? What are you doing? You have honored the lost one, the elder said. Few men would share food with him. Fewer still would survive the night after doing so. I didn't mean no insult. I just saw a hungry man. He is not a man. Cole's stomach turned cold. What is he then? The elder lifted his chin toward the mountains. He is the last sentinel of the old tribe, the last protector of the sacred valley. Long have the blue-coat soldiers sought to kill him. They fear what he guards. Cole blinked. I don't know anything about that. But you have shown him kindness. You have shown him honor, and now his fate is tied to yours. I don't want nobody's fate tied to mine, Cole said. I'm just trying to get home. You cannot. Not now. Two warriors stepped forward with grave faces. Cole stiffened. I ain't going with you. The elder raised a calming hand. We do not force one who carries the mark, but the lost one has chosen you. And if he has chosen, then you must see what he protects. Cole looked around. Hundreds of painted warriors all watching with unreadable eyes. The forest held its breath. He sighed. All right, show me. They turned and led him through the woods. For hours they traveled, through winding paths and narrow canyons, until the forest gave way to a hidden valley alive with morning light. Steam rose from warm springs. Herds of elk grazed along clear streams. Flowers in impossible colors covered the ground like a carpet. But amid this beauty stood something else. A massive stone door carved into the side of a mountain. Ancient symbols etched deep into the rock. It pulsed faintly with blue light like a heartbeat. The warriors gathered around it in reverent silence. The elder spoke softly. The lost one is the last guardian of this door. Behind it lies a power older than our people, older than any nation. The bluecoats want it. They believe it will make them untouchable, invincible. Cole stared at the glowing stone. And what does any of that have to do with me? The elder placed a hand on his shoulder. Because last night you shared food with the sentinel. You gave him comfort when he expected death. That act has bound you to him. His strength now recognizes yours. I ain't strong. You will be, the elder said. Or you will die. A distant scream ripped through the valley. Warriors tensed instantly. More screams followed, dozens of them. The sound of rifles cracked in the distance. Smoke curled above the treetops. Cole's blood froze. That ain't good. The elder's face hardened. The soldiers have found us. Warriors rushed to their positions, forming defensive lines, preparing for an attack. Bows tightened, spears braced, rifles loaded. The elder turned to Cole. The sentinel is wounded, weak, and hunted. If he falls, the door falls with him. If the door falls, the world will drown in violence. I'm sorry, Cole said, panic rising. But I ain't no hero. I'm a miner with bad luck and worse aim. The elder met his eyes with powerful certainty. Yet he chose you. The forest erupted with gunfire. Warriors shouted. Smoke thickened. Out of the shadows stumbled the giant, bloody, staggering, breathing in painful rasps. His eyes found Cole instantly. He collapsed to one knee. Cole rushed to him. Hey, easy now. The giant gripped Cole's arm with shocking strength. You must guard the door. I can't even guard myself. The giant pressed his forehead to Cole's, a gesture filled with ancient meaning. You gave me life. Now I give you mine. Light exploded from the giant's chest, flowing through his hands, burning into Cole's skin. Cole screamed as the energy surged into him like fire and lightning, and thunder all at once. The ground shook. The air vibrated. When the light faded, the giant slumped, lifeless to the ground. Cole stumbled back, gasping, shaking, every nerve alive with new strength. His vision sharpened, hearing deepened, muscles thrumming with raw power he didn't understand. The elder bowed deeply. You are the new sentinel. I don't want to be, Cole whispered. Want has no place in destiny. The soldiers burst through the tree line, 50 of them, rifles blazing. Warriors charged to meet them. Cole felt something awaken inside him. A roar built within his chest. He stepped forward. Bullets struck his skin but slowed as if the air itself thickened around him. He grabbed a fallen spear, and before he knew what he was doing, he was running into the battle with a speed and fury no human had ever possessed. The ground shook beneath each step. Warriors stared in awe as Cole tore through the attack, disarming soldiers, cracking rifles, scattering men like leaves. The fight lasted minutes. When it was over, the valley fell silent. Smoke drifted through the air. The last of the soldiers fled in terror, screaming about a monster in human skin. Cole dropped the spear, chest heaving. The elder approached him with solemn respect. "The warriors bow to you now," the elder said softly. "Not for your strength, but for your heart. You fed the lost one when the world hunted him. You shared warmth when he faced death. That is the mark of a true sentinel." Cole stared at the valley, at the stone door pulsing gently in the mountain. "I didn't ask for any of this. None ever do." The warriors knelt before him in hundreds. Cole felt the weight of their reverence, the burden of their hope. In the distance, the sun rose higher, its rays illuminating the valley in a golden glow, and Cole Maddox, once a broke, unlucky miner, now stood as the guardian of something ancient, dangerous and powerful beyond measure. The world would never know his story, but the mountains would remember, and the warriors would bow.